Hi guys, well I thought we'd follow on from the video I posted a few days ago of the Smok Baby Beast, the Baby TFV8, and we'd rewind a little bit and look at the original, the Cloud Beast, the first TFV8 tank that Smok brought out not all that long ago, but it has been on the market for a little while, and this was actually the first of the TFV8 tanks that I purchased. So we're going to look at the full size one today, and as before we're going to do a bit of an overview of the tank. We'll get into the design, how it works, where its strengths are, and we'll look at the cons, because there's definitely a few cons with this tank. And of course we're going to blow some clouds with it and see the vapor production, go over a little bit about how much flavour it puts out, and we'll probably, as before, have a quick run through the Smok website, show you the different coils available, and we will no doubt reference it back again to this tank, which is the Smok TFV8 Baby that reviewed, as I said, just a few days ago. And I'll put a link to that video in the description for you. And there will be links to these products in the description and other information and stuff, so you can go and swat up if you're thinking about taking a plunge and grabbing one of these sub-ohm tanks from Smok. So without further ado guys, let's go and do a quick overview on this tank to get started. Okay guys, so first things first, let's deal with the elephant in the room literally, and that is the sheer size of this tank. It is huge. It is, including the 510 connection at the base here, it is around about 70 millimeters tall. The base is just over 25 mil, I believe. And it's a very stylish looking tank. You can see this is the all black version. You do get it in stainless, as I have my Baby Beast in here. Both look excellent. I think the black maybe looks slightly better with the trademark Smok orange O-rings you have in there. But very, very cool looking tank. You have plenty of airflow going into this. I don't know how well you can see on the black here. But we have a rotating ring at the bottom that opens and closes your airflow. And I'm going to go through the cons of this tank as we kind of talk about it. I'm not going to save all those for the end. So the first con I would say is that this rotating ring to adjust the airflow on the base has become very loose very quickly on my tank. It's still quite stiff on the Baby Beast, but on this one it's a little too easy to move around. You can see how slippery that is there. Just one little knock against it. Standard 510 connection on the base, of course. Fully disassemblable. You have a top piece in the top part of the chimney there. You can see connects into the top of these massive coils. The base unscrews as well, and of course you have the removable drip tip, which is another con for me because after having this tank not all that long, maybe a month now, maybe not quite even, this is an extremely loose, this drip tip, and it literally pretty much falls out if you tip it upside down. So not a big fan of that. This is a top fill tank, of course, and it has a pivot point built into the top here. You can see that pivot's open quite nicely. There is a seal in here. This tends to get a little bit gunky, but they do provide a replacement. I'll show you that when we open the box up, and it's pretty easy to clean around there, and obviously makes filling pretty simple. Juice capacity in this is anywhere between 5 to 6 mil, depending on which coil you have in there. You can see at the moment I have the V8X4, which isn't the coil that comes in it when you receive this tank. I will come to why that is in a little minute. So yeah, coming back to the overall size of it, here it is in comparison to what I would call a normal, in inverted commas, a normal tank. This is the E-Leaf GS Air 2. You can see there that the Big Beast, just the Cloud Beast, completely dwarfs it, let alone the size of the airflow slots. I mean, let's see if we can open this one up here. Oops. That's it, fully open there. So just have a look at that slot in the base. It's kind of hard to see on this black model, I get that guys, but you can definitely see there's a huge difference in the amount of airflow you're getting through this tank, which there would need to be given the size of the coils. And let's just quickly compare the coils on those two. So here is, let's show you this one. This is the coil that actually comes in the Cloud Beast when you receive it, and here is the coil out of that GS Air 2 tank. So that kind of gives you an idea of the scale we're talking here. This, as I say, is the coil that comes with the Cloud Beast when you receive it. This is the T8. I don't know if this is going to focus for us, guys. Let me just see if I can get the camera to focus in on this. There we go. You might be able to see there the V8 T8 on the side. And this is the octuple core. So you have 4 vertical coils, double wrapped, so you have 8 in total. As you can see there, 0.15 ohm on this. And it's a little greasy because this has been used, guys. 50 to 260 watt, best at 120 to 180. I vaped this about 150 when I was using it and found it excellent vapor production. Flavor was pretty good, not incredible. But my main issue with this was it burnt out after about 3 days of use. Tasted really dry and just no good at all, which is a bit disappointing. This is kind of the flagship model, priciest one to replace, but probably the least practical, because for day to day, this was producing just way too much vapor for me. So I actually changed over to one of the other ones. We'll come to that just in a second. Let's go ahead and unbox and show you what else comes with the tank first of all. Okay, so when you receive your Smok Cloud Beast in the trademark orange and black packaging, this is what you get. You can see on the side the coils that are supplied. Now the one we were just talking about there is this V8 T8, which, as I say, is the flagship for this, the highest vapor production and basically the most badass of all the coils. You're also provided with this Q4 coil, which I had to change over pretty quickly because this one burnt out, and also an RBA base. So it's quite nice that they do give you an RBA with it. Let's just slide off that outer sleeve, and you're presented with this little inner box, which we can hopefully shake open here. So obviously when you receive it, your tank is mounted in here. Get rid of this packaging, and below that we have a little manual which will show us basically how the tank's disassembled. You can see there the different pieces, how to fill it with liquid, blah blah blah, all the usual sort of stuff. Little authenticity card, quality control I guess. We have a little bit of cotton there for the RBA base, nice that they supply that for you. We have a little bag here with some spare grub screws for the RBA, some spare seals and O-rings and stuff, nice to get some extras. A couple of bags of silica, let's go ahead and get rid of those. We have a couple of vape rings to go around the tank to protect it and also to keep that pivoting top fill opening closed. We have an Allen wrench down here for the RBA again. And you'll see if I hold this up, we have space for 2 other coils. So that T8 was mounted in the tank itself, and this one came in the box. This is, I misspoke there actually. This is the Q4. This one I also tried to use. Let's see if I can get this to focus in. Now this one I had a bit of an issue with. I couldn't actually get any of my vapes, any of my mods rather, to pick this up. From coming out of the box. It just keeps coming up as no atomizer or atomizer low. I played around with the coils in it, I poked at it and prodded, couldn't get this to work at all, so that was a little bit disappointing straight out of the box, considering there's a quality control seal in there. I guess they can't test every one, but there was something wrong with this in the factory, so that was definitely a knock against it for me. Unfortunately couldn't use that. Luckily I had bought some of these, which is the V8X4, which is another type of coil available for this tank. I bought a box of these, three in a pack, as spare when I originally picked up the tank. I'll show you what these are. So this is what I have in currently, and this is what we'll be vaping today. You can see I only have one left in here, but I like these so much now that I actually bought another pack too. So I got some spares of these, and I don't know if I have one lying around here. Yeah, I do. So this is the X4 tank. I'm just going to, I know we're doing an unboxing here, but I'm going to jump in and show you these coils just now. This is the X4, which you can see has a very trademark X opening on the side for your juice. 0.15, best at 80 to 120 watts, but rated at 60 to 150. And you can see this has 2 vertical kind of cylinder coils inside, both double wraps, so therefore you have a total of 4. And I find this is a really good balance between vapor production and taste. So this is what I'm on, pretty solid for now. This is what I have in the tank right now. You can see that trademark X in there, and also, as I say, I have all those spares. So that's what I'm going to be using for a little bit. Also in the box, let's just carry on with the unboxing. We have a spare glass tube for your tank, which is nice. And last but not least, we have our RBA base, which I haven't built yet, but we'll get around to it at some point. I might even do a video on for you guys. You can see, unscrew this here. It's pre-installed coils, so you just have to wick it, and very nice it is indeed. So we'll see how that works, and hopefully that's all good to go and functioning when it does get put together. We shall see. So that's it for the unboxing, guys, and I think the next thing to do would be to go ahead and vape it and see how it performs. In the tank today, guys, is this Black Cherry Cigar from Vapor Hub. They're a local chain of stores in the city near where I live here, and you can see the website address if my camera will focus, vaporhub.ca. Check them out. This is a zero nicotine juice in a 40-60 ratio, and I'm a big fan of cigar and tobacco flavors, or tobacco based flavors, so this is definitely one of my favorites. Not an overly sweet cigar, so it's pretty manageable for an all-day vape, and if you're into that sort of thing, definitely worth checking out. Okay guys, this is that X4 coil, and it says read anywhere between 60 to 150 watts is 0.15 resistance. Best between 80 to 120. So we'll start off at 60 and then we'll turn up a bit from there. Not bad, not bad. So that's the lowest rating for it. We're going to turn up to, let's turn up to 90 or thereabouts. This is at 90 watts now. Definitely some nice thick vapor coming through there, and a bit more flavour than 60 watts. Obviously, still not huge on flavour right now. Let's turn up to 100, turn up to 110 here. So as you can see, really getting a nice dense cloud now. 120 is the maximum it's recommended, so let's try 120 and then we'll go up to 140 or something like that. So this is 120 watts. Really, really good at 120. Plenty of flavour there and really nice dense clouds, you can see. Let's turn up to 145, so nearly the top rating for this coil. Let's see how it performs there. I'm expecting this to be a little bit overcooked. Yeah, so as you can see, plenty of vapor production up in the 140s, but flavour is definitely a bit overcooked. I would say that 110 to 120 sweet spot is where you want to be at with this. Let's hit it again right at 110. Whew. Plenty of vapor. This is all maximum airflow, guys, and making sure to draw plenty of air through, keep this cool. Really not feeling too warm in the tank, so that's all good news. Alright, so hopefully that gives you guys an idea of the kind of performance you can expect out of this tank. The vapor production and flavour are very nicely balanced, I find, with this X coil that I'm using. The X4, what is it called? Yeah, the V8 X4. The original T8, the octuple core, was a little bit too much for me, and to be honest, it kind of highlighted one of the main flaws of this tank for me, and that is the juice consumption. You're putting out clouds like that, obviously it's going to be thirsty. I watched a lot of reviews on this tank before I purchased it, but I wasn't expecting it to be quite as thirsty with that T8 coil as it actually turned out to be. It was pretty ridiculous. I could easily see putting a bottle, a regular 30ml bottle of juice through this in a day, just with sporadic use, and vaping a bit more heavily through the day and into the evening. So you do be aware of that it is very thirsty, but if you are looking for something that produces a nice amount of thick vapor and still maintains good taste and is generally just looks pretty cool, then you could do a lot worse than this. I personally, out of my experience with these Smok Beast tanks or TFV8 tanks, I would say that the Baby Beast is probably the way to go for most people. You still get a good amount of vapor, and if you watched my recent review on this one, you'll know that I'm definitely a fan of this over the original. You still get a good amount of vapor, excellent flavour. It's a more practical size, although you do have to fill up both pretty quickly. At least you're only putting 3 mils in here as opposed to 5.5 or 6 in there. So your juice consumption will be way less on this, and you'll still have a very enjoyable, very smooth vape. So this would be my recommendation for now out of these two. I do enjoy this. For me, this is more of a weekend tank or sitting outside in summer tank where cloud production is really an issue. I certainly wouldn't see myself driving very much and using this, not with the T8 coil anyway, because you're not going to see where you're going. So obviously I don't recommend that or endorse that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, this tank, but it's definitely not what I call an everyday vaping tank, and has a few drawbacks. So the only cons I mentioned, I think, let's just recap those, were the looseness of the ring at the bottom here, the fact the coil is burnt out really quickly, and that could just be down to my experience, and also that Q4 whatever coil is that came with it wasn't even working, which is a bit of a letdown, and also the looseness of the drip tip there. So there's a couple of little niggling issues, but overall, I mean, the quality is pretty good. It feels very solid, and it's a very enjoyable tank to use. So the one that I'm holding out for, as I mentioned in the Baby Beast video, is the Big Baby, which is basically taking some of the attributes of this, i.e. the large juice reservoir, combining it with this, smaller coils, less expensive to run, putting the whole thing together, and you end up with a tank that sits somewhere in the middle of these. And if you look at the Smok website, you will see it right now. A few reviews out on YouTube already. Go look it up. So that what you're looking for is a Smok TFV8 Big Baby Cloud Beast. So they're really elaborating on the names here, guys. So the one that goes in the middle of these, I think, is probably the one to have, and of course it's the one that I don't have yet. So that will probably be next on my shopping list, and as soon as I get it, of course, I will review that and let you guys know what I think of it, and if it takes the best of both worlds and puts it all together. So meantime, I think that's enough rambling on from me about this. Definitely fun tank to check out. Thank you for watching this video and spending some time with me and taking in this review. Hopefully it was helpful to you if you're looking to purchase one of these or something similar. I'll leave some useful links in the description for you if you are looking to buy. And yeah, be back with more videos soon. Thanks and have a great day.